just be my view. I just be my shine. 空に目覚まい。たい夢だって最初から分かってた。無関心な風に何度傷ついても太陽に手を伸ばす指先のレゾナンス。瞬きの間も感じたくて根拠なんていつも後付けだよ。大人ぶった要請飛び越えて今バイバイ。踏み出した空に走ってく光。一番先へ目覚めるスピードで破れそうな角を連れていくんだ。もっと強い可能性になれ。Rise to my feet。
CVRT Scorpion. Now, this CVRT Scorpion here, as you see, this is a reconnaissance vehicle, a tracked reconnaissance vehicle, and first came into service in 1973. Still in service today. Has a few modifications in the British Army these days. It's got a diesel engine in, a 5.9 diesel engine. This one is a petrol. This particular vehicle has a Jaguar J60 4.2 litre straight 6 petrol engine, and it was modified out for current day for the multi-fuel policy, where the British Army try and run all their vehicles on the same fuel. Obviously, diesel being less explosive than petrol, it was favoured to be the option. These, as I said before, are reconnaissance vehicles, so the Army Control would send these out ahead of its battalions of tanks and infantry to go and scout the area out, find out what's going on, be the forward control. It's got a good radio system in there that you can liaise back to the forward control and tell them of any impending threats coming this way. You'll also notice for a tank it's actually quite quiet. And this is so it could sneak up on the enemy, report back about their position. So these tanks were made by a company called Albus Vickers. They make quite a lot of these tanks, and it has a top speed of about 45 miles an hour. Now this tank will do 45 miles an hour forwards and then backwards. Because if you were scouting out the area and you came into contact with a large group of main battle tanks, this has got quite a capable gun on it. It's got a 76mm L2 3A1 main armament up the top here, and although that does pack quite a punch, you're not going to take out any main battle tanks with it. All it is a bit of courage for the driver and the commander. You'll see that this one is this is what we call track vehicles. This is the track here, and what this does, this lays a track in front of it as it drives along. It's pulled along by this front drive sprocket, and that's driven by the gearbox, transfer box and engine in here. As I said, this one's a petrol engine. As you can tell, it's remarkably quiet. This takes a crew of 3, and so you have a driver down here. Can you give us a wave, driver? There you go. There's a driver down there. You also, at the top, you have a commander in the right-hand side as I look at it, and a gunner in the left-hand side. Crew of 3. You'll notice that all of the British vehicles have headlights, indicators, side lights, brake lights, wing mirrors, and that's so they've got to be road legal if they're British. On here, this is actually made out of magnesium alloy, so it's not particularly the best armour in the world, but it is light and it is fast. Before they go out to any battle or any operation, there are multiple different parts of armour that they bolt on the side. Fire armour, the skirts, thermal cloaks, all that kind of stuff. You'll see at the top it's got smoke grenade discharges. It's got 3 on each side on the front, 3 on each side at the back, and that will fire out a phosphorus smoke grenade to lay down smoke cover for him to back off and hide behind. Many thanks. Out in the field, this tank would also have a secondary armament in the form of a 7.62 DPMG machine gun that would be mounted to the top for the commander to fire. These tanks are part of, as I said before, the CVRT family, and that's combat vehicle track, and there are many different variants of this vehicle, from ambulances to recovery vehicles to rocket throwers, MLRS kind of systems. There's multiple use. Scorpion has seen active service in Iraq, in the Falklands, and even in the Gulf now. So that is the Scorpion. The next vehicle we'll have for you is what's called a Lynx. Now the Lynx is another variant of reconnaissance vehicle. This one is actually Canadian. They very kindly gave it to us. Any Canadians in the house today? Yeah, there you go, you can't have it back. So the Lynx weighs in at about 8 to 9 tons, depending on how much stuff it's got bolted on it. And in this bore, this is about 8.7 tons. Lynx has got a 6-cylinder GMC diesel Detroit engine inside, which is quite a common engine they use in most of these kind of vehicles. It's about 215 horsepower, so it's quite a sprightly thing. It's one of the faster tanks we've got here at the museum. Originally built in 1963 by the FMC Corp. It was a private venture and then bought out by the military. The Lynx is actually amphibious. It's propelled along the water by its tracks. The motion of its tracks going through the water would propel it along. It wasn't overly successful, but it is amphibious. So I wouldn't want to try it these days, especially not in that one, as this is the only one that you'll see in the United Kingdom. So it's quite rare to see one of these going around. There were many of these built back in the day. The Royal Dutch Army had 250 of these, beginning in 1966. As you see, the